So when we talk about job evaluation, what is it? It is actually a process of systematically what? It is a systematic process of determining the worth of the job vis-a-vis or relation to the other job. So it is not absolute. I hope you understand. Absolute, relative. What is absolute? That Sneha got 100 marks in maths. That's a absolute. Sneha gave an exam of maths exam. Sneha got 90th percentile in maths. What does that mean? In comparison to the population, she got what? She got, 10% of the population is lower and 90% of, is higher. So she got at a 90% higher and 10% people are lower. So it's relative. When you talk about job evaluation as such, it is relative. It is not absolute. We will go in deeper terms when we explain this relativity. So I want you to understand when we are doing job evaluation, we are doing a relative worth of the job in relation to the other job. Two, you are not doing it for Nivedita or Sneha or for the person. You are doing for a job, for a position. What should I pay for HR manager? What should I pay for finance manager? So what does it mean? I am not evaluating. People will come, people will go. So therefore, when I find Sneha who has less experience and less competent, I might hire the same grade, but I will reduce her. I might offer her at a minimum level of that salary grade. Are you getting me? When I fix grades, job grades, because every grade will have a salary range, I might give her a less because it is trainable. Got it? So therefore, I am actually what fixing salary for a job, not for a person. So what are the various methods we are going to look at here? Ranking method and also job grading method. So we are going to look at ranking method, point factor method, and job grading method, which are the most popular ones. Ranking is the most easiest one. So how do you let me just give you a little flow process, a little process of how do we typically do so typically what is the starting point for job evaluation? You need to have what a organizational, what we call it as structure, or we also call it as organogram, right? So we need to have a organizational structure. Why do you need to have an organizational structure? Because you get to understand what the levels of the organization, where are the positions, where are they embedded, etc. Okay. Then you also have to have an understanding of which are those positions I really want to evaluate. Maybe some organizations say 100%. Some will say, hey, my critical position. Some will say 50% of the position. So identify those positions. Then what will you do next? You need to have a basic document called job
Description.
job descriptions. Why job descriptions?
To evaluate what are the roles.
To understand, to get the scope, to know what are the tasks, what are the responsibilities of this job description. Now, for all the HR people, we use a technical term called job. How do you get job description? We use a technical process called job analysis. Have you heard this word, job analysis? Job analysis is a systematic process of identifying what this job does, tasks, responsibilities, etc., so that you get this document called job description. Now, these consultants, when they come and they'll help you, oh, it's going to take so much of time, cost, etc. Typically, if you are given a job of doing job descriptions for, say, 50 positions, how much time will you take? And how will you go about?
So what we need to know is whether all the people are doing the same job or not. So if they are doing almost the same job, then we'll just have one job description. So that's where, and if if there are levels, like if a person is managing a team or not, that is also one criteria. So based on that, we will do one or two job descriptions only.
Okay. But typically, if you want to do job descriptions, what is the process you will follow? What will you do typically? How do you go about creating JDs? Because all HRBPs, HR people, at some point of time, you have to make your job descriptions. So how do you typically go about?
We normally do the interview with the line manager to understand what kind of role this person would be doing, and then we jot down all the responsibilities. We also understand whether he will be managing what kind of an area, how many
Mhm.
projects, and all those things, and if there are any revenue targets attached to it or not.
Okay, that's one way. But if you really, so I will give you a very interesting short and very detailed method where within maybe 4 or 5 days, even if you have to do 10 JDs, 20 JDs, you can do that. How? I'm sure most of you know about it. Typically, what I do is I use a site called Own It. Can you see this?
No.
Anybody familiar with it? All that you need to do is go to Google, type Own It. What if you had a benchmark job description of every position? Now, this Own It, just type this Own It. Okay. Now, you have something called keyword search. So, I already put it for your, it will be very handy. Compensation and benefits. I can put as a manager. Okay, I'll put a manager. Okay. All that you need to do is just put that keyword in the occupation search. Now, what do you get? Can you see this? A summary of all the key tasks, skills required, like, for example, direct preparation and distribution of written verbal information to inform employees and document work activities, occupational requirements, working with detailed work activities, everything. Okay. Now, this is a American site of the labor, Department of Labor. Now, this is only a summary. Now, if you want detailed job description, can you see it gives you a detailed tasks, direct preparation and distribution, design, evaluate, modify benefits, analyze compensation policies. It's very detailed. Now, what do? I just customize it. And how do I customize it? Because I can't use it right away. But I customize it by using the Google format, send it to 2 or 3 job holders, other key stakeholders, and also to the supervisor and say, hey, add or delete. If you agree with it, just it's like a checklist. So add. So typically what happens, you just get maximum about 3 or 4 editions sometimes. And if they do not, if there is some kind of a controversy on 1 or 2 things, then I actually call up, talk, and then with the reporting manager, come to a consensus and then firm it up. Let me tell you guys, it takes very little time. Because what happens, there are ways of doing job descriptions by sitting with the person, spending time, sending interviews, etc. But they take a long time. And in today's times, you can use AI as well. You can use this, do a little bit of, collect data of from 2, 3 sources. You can do it even 50 positions, 100 positions within, I think, a span of 1 week, you can complete all your GTs. Got it? And this consultants don't tell you. And let me also tell you, this is a very um, sure and effortless way of creating job descriptions. All right. Now, when you are doing job descriptions, and especially for job evaluation, you need to have what? The current job description, not an obsolete one, because you are evaluating the job, the job. So obviously it has to be current, not somebody who did some time ago. So no obsolete job description. Got it? Okay. So once you do the job analysis, you get the job description. Then what are you going to do in job evaluation? Then you identify through which methodology you want to do the job evaluation. Okay. You identify methodology. Now you can have what? A job grading method. You can have a point plan method. Okay. These are the most universally accepted methods. Job grading is a qualitative method and point plan is a quantitative method. Okay. Job grading is a qualitative, point plan is a quantitative method. So once you do this, you establish what? Job value or job worth. So once you establish job value or job worth, what happens? Then you have the outcome of this is you have a hierarchy of jobs. What is the meaning of hierarchy of jobs? What is the meaning of hierarchy of jobs?
The level of roles.
You can rank your jobs, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Say, for example, I will say through point plan method, I have HR manager is 400 points. HR executive is 250 points. So which I can always have no ranking order, decreasing or what is it, ascending or descending order. And the higher the point value, higher is the job. Lower the point value, lower is the job. Got it? So when there is a higher value, you will pay higher salary. Lower value, lower salary. So once you have this, then what you do? You will use. We still have not arrived at. You only know which is higher and lower, but we have still not come to where how much to pay. How will you do that? By using market data. So now you will use market data and then build what? Pay grades. Got it? So as a component, when how do you design pay grades? So there is a process. And don't worry, guys, I just gave you the overview so that you get an understanding of the bigger picture, but you will do everything in detail today in the most simplified manner so that you are able to understand. Okay? So the most simple methodology of job evaluation is called ranking method, which is not used much, but most of the startups, to get a grading structure, they use ranking method. Now, what is a ranking method? Okay. What is a ranking method? Let us understand. Say, for example, all of you, can you see my slide? Very clear? Okay. Say, for example, this is called the paid ranking system. As the word suggests, ranking, rank. What does it mean, ranking? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One is higher, two. It depends which you want to have. Maybe the highest number. No, it's ranking. Now, say, for example, you have your IT service company and you have these 10 positions. Which are they? Messenger, data processing manager, data entry operator, executive secretary, etc. These are the 10 positions. Now, when you're doing ranking or when you're doing any method, you have to actually create a compensation committee. You can never do it individually. Why? If you do it individually, you can't sell your job evaluation. Hey, this job is higher. No, people will not buy it because they'll see, hey, they have this HR has always their own interests, right? So it has to be open, it has to be transparent, it has to be justified. So obviously, you have to create a compensation committee. Who will be the members of this committee? All the business heads who have a good understanding of the business, and the CEO, preferably the HR head. So that means it's cross-functional, and you have all the top management of in the committee. Why should you have all of them? Because you are able to then get a buy-in from your, because ultimately you can have a best job evaluation, you have done everything, but who's going to buy your idea? The buy-in is easier when it is participative, right? So that's why normally HR does not do these things on their own. They will involve the business. All right. Now, once you do that, now in the ranking method is the most simple primitive method. What do? You actually put all the jobs vertically and horizontally. Can you see that? Okay. Now then so this compensation committee, because they have a good understanding of the business, they will take the job description of each and every job. Say, for example, I start with a messenger. Obviously, messenger. So I will then start evaluating the messenger with the rest of the jobs. It is understood that the messenger is what the lowest. Okay, we'll eliminate that. Look at the data processing manager. What will you use? Job description. Now, who is the evaluating committee? The compensation committee. So now the data processing manager job description, the compensation committee will evaluate vis-a-vis the knowledge, skills, competencies, etc., what is required, and say, hey, this job is it higher than the rest of the jobs? So you can't compare the same job. So you will put a slash. Data processing manager, dash. Data processing manager, is it higher than data entry operator? The compensation committee says yes. So you are putting a check mark, cross mark. Data processing manager, is it higher than executive secretary? So the committee takes a call and says, yes, it's higher. So it's putting a check mark. So what are you doing? You are evaluating this position, data processing manager, with the rest of the jobs. And then if it is higher, then you are putting a check. But if it is lower, then you are not putting a check. Let us take another job. Computer operator. Is it higher than messenger? Yes. Is it higher than data processing manager? No. So there is no check. Is it higher than data entry operator? Yes. Is it higher than computer operator? No. Is it higher than control clerk? Yes. So what is happening is you are looking at all the jobs vertically and horizontally and pairing them up and evaluating each and every job with the rest of the jobs. And you are putting checks whenever the job is hired. So if you see the end of it, you have to then add up all these checks. You are getting what? A ranking system. So according to this, which is the highest job? The job with the highest
Processing
cross.
manager.
So it is if you see, this is 9. Data processing manager is the highest. Which could be the lowest? Leave the messenger. Which could be the lowest?
File clerk.
1. Right? And so likewise, I can now say that 1 is the lowest, 9 is the highest. So obviously, if I put them in the ascending or descending order, I can have a list of jobs which are, as per the job value. Now, how do I translate this into then a grading system, or how do I translate them into salary? Then what do I do is, typically, I will then say, hey, can I bucket them? Can I cluster them into similar jobs? So can I say 1, 2, 3, and 4 are of a similar nature, but maybe a little higher, but similar nature? 1, 2, 3, 4? Yes or no? So I can give them one grade. 5, 6, 7, another grade 2. 8, 9, maybe another grade. Oh, so that is how we will be doing the grading. So this is typically not used in most of the organizations. So I'm not really wanting to get into the grading part, which will be common to others as well. But in a paired ranking comparison, so the one takeaway here is you list all the jobs, compare them to the rest of the jobs in pairs. Now, the disadvantage here is that you can't do it one time and then that's it. No. Every time you have a new job, you have to start the process again. So it is not typically used in organizations. But yes, if there are organizations which have just 5 positions, 10 positions, you can do it internally using this ranking system. Got it? Okay, guys?
Ma'am, one
Okay.
question.
Yeah, please.
So, ma'am, but this kind of a process we cannot do with two different departments, right? Because we cannot compare the jobs for two different department at the same time. Because some person will, HOD might say that my this job is more critical, and some other will say. So, this is only possible for very small organization where there is a very lean structure, right?
Absolutely. Very just 10 to 15 positions because there's a lot of subjectivity involved because the evaluation takes place based on the criteria of what the HOD say, what the entire committee says. So it's very subjective. So sometimes what happens, you want to push your job as a higher job. Someone else says, I want to push our job. So it is a lot of subjectivity. But yet, I will show you this also can be used because you will collect data from the market and then how it gets, evened up. So that I'm going to show you in a later point of time. So you can still use this method at no cost because what happens when you collect market data and then you have positioned a job in a higher grade, but the market is paying lesser. So that's where then you will again go back to the drawing board and say, hey, as a compensation committee, we rated this at a higher level. Got it?
Hmm.
So
Got it.
at no cost, you don't have to call the consultant. You can do it internally when there are very few positions. The disadvantage is subjectivity. And also every time there's a new job, you have to change the entire thing. You have to go back to again the drawing board to start ranking because the new job necessarily, it need not fall into the next rank. It can change the entire ranking, right? Okay. All right,
Yeah.
guys. So having said that, now we are going to use a very popular method which is called job grading. Okay. As I said, job grading is a qualitative method.
One question here. Okay,
Yeah.
how are we comparing? On what basis are we comparing one job to the other? You're saying one
In
job
the
is
ranking method, in the
yes,
ranking method. Yeah.
yes.
So when as I said, it's a primitive method. You are looking at the job description and broadly the entire compensation committee is looking at, hey, what is the scope of the job? Okay. In terms of, again, you will look at obviously accountability, responsibility. Okay. What is the value this job is going to add? What are the, outcomes or the results of this job? So solely based on the understanding of the job through the lens of the business heads, we are evaluating the job. Got it? So that's why I said it's also subjective. Only when you are again getting market data, you are making the corrections. Okay?
There a revenue lens
Yeah.
added in these
Yeah. So for all of you, Sri, I actually just introduced this ranking method and I didn't want to get into detailing of the market because we are going to do that here in this
Sure.
job grading. Okay. Then you will be able to connect. Got it? Okay. Yeah. So, job grading. When we say job grading, typically think of organizations who have maybe 4 grades, maybe 5 grades. Essentially, when you say a particular grade, say for example, grade 3, what is it? There could be finance jobs, there could be HR jobs, there could be production jobs. But essentially, when you say there are certain jobs in a particular grade, what does it convey? It conveys that all these jobs are of equal worth. Got it? When I say grade 3 jobs, all the jobs which are there are of equal worth. Equal worth. Job grade 4 of equal worth. So, first of all, how are we trying to put all our jobs, maybe 20 jobs or 30 jobs, into those grades? So, there's a process. So how do I do that? First of all, I identify compensable factors. So let me actually go to a very live data so that you are able to follow this entire thing. Okay, can you see my Excel sheet? So it's a very systematic process. So we'll go by step, step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay, so step 1, what am I identifying? Compensable factors. Now, what are these compensable factors? Anybody? When you actually pay certain jobs, why do you pay them? In organizations, what are those factors for which are we paying? Differentiating between salary, experience. A person with more experience, I'll give him more salary. A person with less experience, I'll give him less. Education. So what are compensable factors? Those are for the factors for which we are wanting to pay. Okay. Now, they have to be common across the organization. Okay. Now, when you want to compare jobs, you can't have different compensable factors for different functions or for different positions. Then you can't compare. Okay. They have to be same, common. Now, you might say, how do we derive or how do we determine these compensable factors? A, they have to be aligned with the business philosophy or business strategy. For example, Google, what is their business strategy? Trying to be all the time coming out with what new products or new features. To do that, what do you need? A lot of creativity. Now, creativity is not something which I want it only in one position, one function. No, across the organization. So creativity becomes one of the compensable factors, right? The intensity required may be high, low, I will determine later. But at least that becomes one of the common compensable factors. Got it? So likewise, there are universal compensable factors. Like for example, universe, it could be skill, right? Or I could also call it as uh, what Hay calls it as know-how. Know-how. That know-how means what? It could be technical know-how. It could be your managerial. It could be your, people related. So it depends. You can have sub-compensable factors. It could be what? Now, universal responsibility, right? Like for example, I will give a very simple. There is a senior HR executive, recruitment executive, and recruitment manager. Will you see that there's a difference between the responsibility of a recruitment manager and the responsibility of a recruitment executive? Is there a difference? What is the responsibility of the recruitment executive? Yeah?
positions and, very
Sourcing,
direct, sourcing and
sourcing,
positions.
screening, right? Shortlisting, coordinating and arranging. But recruitment manager,
There is a
is the
deliverables for a
responsibility
recruitment
higher,
manager. Yeah.
much more ensuring. So is there a impact? What I'm talking about, impact, higher impact for recruitment manager because he is also responsible for the business results, etc. Because if he's going to hire a wrong person, impact, and lesser impact for the recruitment executive only to the extent of that process has he been able to. So are you understanding now? Compensable factors. Why do you pay more for recruitment manager? Because the business impact is higher. Why do you pay lesser salary to recruitment executive? Because the responsibility and impact is lower. So now are you able to understand what are compensable factors? Problem solving. Can it be a compensable factor which you can actually then, because intensity, requirement for, thinking ability, etc., is lesser for lesser because they are doing only routine jobs, higher for higher jobs. So compensable factors are those factors for which you pay. Got it? So step one is identifying compensable factors. So here I have identified, what have I identified? Education, experience, span of control, and creativity. So what are we doing? Job grading. So step one is identifying compensable factors. Step two, you have to determine how many grades you want. You have to determine how many grades you want. Now, when we are determining the grades, there could be grades. Say, for example, organization can have narrow banding. Have you heard this term, narrow banding?
No.
That means
Yes.
what? You
That
have,
means
say, like
uh,
15 to 20, 15 to 20 grades. Okay? You could also have what? Broad banding. That means a little leaner. You will have only 5 to maybe 6
7.
grades. Are you with me? So what is the second step? You are determining the number of grades you want to have. Now, the option in determining the number of grades is you want to have a narrow banding like 15 to 20 grades, or you want to have a broad banding 5 grades. Now, you may ask, ma'am, as a CNB, how do I determine what is the basis? The type of industry also determines. Typically, organizations which are stable do not change over a period of time of 10 to 15 years. Okay. Like, for example, public sector, government organizations, manufacturing organizations, where there is not much of market impact, agility, they are going for what? Narrow banding. That means many grades. So when I say many grades, 10 to 20 grades, that means what? Their range will be narrow. That is the difference between min and max of a grade will be narrow. Are you with me? That means they'll get promoted every 3 years, every 2 years. Are you with me? Look at the public sector, look at the government sector. Jobs are rigid. There is not much of flexibility. Control is there. Because there's not much of impact. Market is not impacted. So they are more stable. But think of IT, think of other, where huge market impact is there. Agility. You want quick decision making. There, if I have 20 bands, 15 bands, the response time for, it will take a longer time. Are you with me? Decision takes longer. So there, if you notice, which are highly agile, you want to be agile. So there are only 4 bands, 5 bands. Because what happens, at every band or a grade, people are what? Accountable, ownership driven. So self-driven. So in IT organization, so there can be a hybrid. Initially, you can have narrow band And as you go middle and higher, you can have sub-batch. Got it? Now, to learn the technique here, we are only taking for you, you will create either four, so you will create only 5 grades. Okay. Like I've taken grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5. What is it? So I've taken just 5 grades, no subgrades here. Grade 1 being the lowest and grade 5 being the highest. Got it? Third, step 3. I have to write descriptors. What grade 1 with these compensable factors, what are the descriptors? Means, what do I need to have at a grade 1? For example, education. This is a manufacturing organization. So ITI, lowest grade. Okay. And a higher grade engineer. Engineer with certificate. PG. So you in job grading, you don't have to keep changing. Grade 5 doesn't have to become a doctorate. Okay. So typically, how do you go about? You will typically look at your lowest job and highest job and what are those education qualifications across all functions, etc. And you will start writing them. Okay. Maybe like in grade 1, if I'm having in the HR, then maybe just a degree or a diploma. So you need to take into consideration that way. So experience, if you have noticed, span of control, creativity. So these are descriptors. Now, step 1, step 2, step 3. What is step 4? What will I do? Step 4, I will take all the jobs and then evaluate, saying, hey, this job, where does it fall? In education, experience, individual contributor, or low. So if it complies with all this, if I'm going to evaluate and then say, hey, this job falls into this. Got it? If there's another job, that's what you're going to do. I'm going to give a exercise. So I'm evaluating the job description vis-a-vis this template, vis-a-vis these descriptors, and then put them into their respective grades. Got it? For example, so once I've got that done, then what do? Say, for example, I have a list of jobs here, 1 to 8. Okay. Now I have graded them. Okay. So some of them are in grade 1, some of them are in grade 3, and some of them are in grade 2. Got it? Now what I will do, the next, I will be doing a analysis, which is called cluster analysis. What is cluster analysis? Nothing. Simple. I'm going to bucket them into what? How many are in grade 1? How many are in grade 2? How many are in grade 3? Okay. Then get market data. Simple. How do I get market data? You go to any published survey, or you can also go to Glassdoor, or you can also look at payscale.com, which will give you market data. And market data is always a median data, which is called a 50th percentile data. Say, for example, I've taken all these positions, I've done job grading, and I've taken this market salary data. Now, how do I fix grades? Okay. How do I fix grades? What will I do? Simply, I will actually do a scatter graph. What did I do? Insert this data. I took the market data, go to this. Okay. No. But, okay. What have I done? Cluster analysis. I've gone, inserted the data. Okay. Now, click on anyone and then do add a trend line. I'll make it a little bigger so that, yeah. Now, how many jobs are there in grade 1 typically? Here? 3 jobs, right. How many in grade 2? 3. And how many in the grade 3? 2. What have I done? I have done job grading. I've got the jobs in their particular grades, but I don't know how much to pay. I have to fix what? Salary ranges. What is the salary range for every grade? Min and max. How will I do that? So what did I do? I got the market data. Now I will, while you are doing, I will handhold you. So don't worry. Then I just did a scatter graph. Okay. What we call it as insert data and get this. Now added a trend line. Now, if I want to fix minimum and maximum, what do? Take the job with the lowest salary. So this is the one. So how much is it min? It's almost 18,000. So grade 1 can be what? So grade 1 can be 18,000 min and max will be my highest 20,000. Now let's go to the next one. Grade 2. Again, this is how much? 20,000. And here it is how much? But right now I've taken only few positions. Maybe tomorrow there'll be more positions. So I'll say, hey, you have to do a little bit of a, mechanical iteration, saying that I'm going to stretch it and say 30,000. Okay. Then grade 3. It starts with 50,000. There are only 2 positions right now, and I can go extrapolate 70,000. So typically what happens when you are actually designing a min and a max fixing salary ranges, you also need to understand your own promotion policy. You have to understand your own promotion policy. For example, what is the min and maximum for your grade 1? Can you see that? What is the min and the maximum for grade 1? Yeah.
18,000 to 20,000.
18,000 to 20,000. Okay. Let me just do this. All right. Now, 18,000 to 20. Okay. My promotion policy is, it's a manufacturing organization. What is my promotion policy? On an average, I'm giving what? Say 1,000 rupees increment. How much? On an average, I'm giving 1,000 rupees increment. And on an average, my promotion policy says that it takes about 4 years, typically 4 years, to promote a person. Okay? To promote to the next level. Got it, guys? Huh? What are the 2 things I said now? Anybody can, just so that I know that you're understanding. Yeah?
We give an increment for 1,000 rupees per year.
In your
And
organization, yes. Yes. And
uh,
it takes
after
typically 4 years to promote to the next level. So
next
that
level.
means when a person is promoted to the next level in 4 years, how much of increment you would have got typically? 4
4,000
into,
with
got it? How much?
4,000.
4,000 rupees. Now, the difference between 18,000 and 20,000 should be such that it should take care of that. Got it? So what is the difference between 18,000 and 20,000? Only? Huh?
Only 2,000.
Only 2,000. So I need to what?
Increase the limit.
Increase the max to how much?
22.
Got it?
Yeah.
I have to increase. Otherwise, what will happen? It will disturb. I will have to promote the guy quickly into the next grade. Are you with me? Now, next 20,000 to 30,000. But then suddenly you will see that from 30,000 to 50,000. So I can create another subgrade, grade 2A, as what I can create 30,000 to 50,000. Are you with me? This can be subgrade 2A. Now, once I have created the grades, then what happens typically? All the salary and benefits are as per the grade level, right? You ask a person if he is in grade 1, you know what will be his salary and what will be his benefits. So your reimbursements, your mobile, your travel, your stay, everything can be linked to the grade. Are you with me, guys? Okay. Step 1. Now you will be working on job grading. Okay. Step 1. What I want you all to do, just I showed you my Excel sheet. So step 1 is what? You have to identify only 4 compensable factors. How many? Only 4 compensable factors. As I said, compensable factors are common, universal. They do not change from function to function or job to job. They are common to the across the organization so that you can compare them. Like, for example, problem solving, decision making, etc. Now what you need to do is, you have about how many you have, say about I think 20 positions here. Vilma has sent you, these are the job descriptions for a manufacturing organizations. All right, now if you actually look at all these positions, you have the scope of the job. You also have actually the compensable factors, wherein, like, for example, are already there, to make it a little more easier for you: decision making, span of control, financial impact, etc. So what you need to do, identify both the groups, use an Excel sheet, identify 4 compensable factors, only 4. Then you have to only determine 4 grades: grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. Grade 1 being the lowest, grade 4 being the highest. All right. Now what you need to do is take any 10 positions. Vilma has sent you at least, I think, 15 to 18 positions. Take any 10 positions. Okay. After having identified the compensable factors, after having written the descriptors, evaluate these 10 positions and then evaluate them and put them in grade 1 or grade 2 or grade 3 or grade 4. Okay. So what do you need to do? Can you show me that, Shivi, the Excel sheet? Can I see if it helps? Then I can use that Excel sheet. So you can create here itself another Excel sheet. All right. Now, if you have noticed, factors: education, experience, knowledge and skill, decision making, span of control, financial impact. When I say financial impact, anybody, can you define what does it mean, financial impact?
Maybe how much he's contributing to the revenue. Is he spending the money from the organization?
Yeah.
Or
So there are
he's
2 impacts. Yes, you are absolutely right. There are 2 impacts. One could be financial impact. The other could be business impact. Typically, which are those functions which have a direct impact on the finance? Revenue, sales, production, they have a direct financial impact. Whereas HR, so it has an indirect. Say, for example, HR has a business impact. How, say, if I have to actually hire some critical positions, if I don't hire the right kind of critical positions, will it have a business impact? Yes, because the performance of those positions is dependent. right? So there are two aspects, business impact and financial impact. So there is also operational impact. So no, I don't want you all to take all this. So you can take just 4 from here, and easier, pick 1, 2, 3, and 4 only. Okay. So she has already created levels for you, descriptors for you. So pick 4 compensable factors from here. Pick 4 descriptors corresponding to those factors. And all that you need to do is create a new worksheet. And what you need to do is evaluate 10 jobs from different, especially, there is project, there is finance, I think there is HR, and there is quality as well. So pick 10 positions and evaluate them as a group and put them into, so use as grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, and do the evaluation. Okay, just do that. Then we'll go to the next phase. All right, and I'm there to handhold you. So in the same worksheet, how do you go about? One of you share your screen, the same thing, create another new worksheet, pick up 4 factors from here, and then use those as compensable factors, pick up the descriptors and paste them there, then write grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. Okay. And I'm going to be there to coordinate with you and help you to identify. So, Vilma, can you put them into 2 groups? Now, create another page like this and delete everything what is not required. So, what all to be deleted? So, create a fresh page of this. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Copy this page. Okay. Have you copied it? Okay, great. This is a copy, right? Now delete everything. Entire step 1, delete it. All this data, whatever is there, delete that step 1. Enter the codes so that it's clear for you, Okay, delete it. Great. Okay. Now let's go up. Now, delete all this. Score 5, grade mapping, score 2. Delete that also. That is F, G, H. No, keep that score 4. Keep the score 4. Delete it. Okay. Now, you want to identify 4 compensable factors. So you can just keep 4 compensable factors. Now, as a group, who are the other members of this group? Okay. Now you decide. Okay.
We have already
So
decided, ma'am.
Yeah, we
you have
decided
decided.
that 4,
Now
yes.
just
Yeah.
keep those 4. Just and delete the rest in the compensable factors. Got it?
Yeah.
Great. Now, instead of score 1, score 2, score 3, score 4, put grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. Got it? Okay. Done?
Yeah.
So what have you done? You have identified compensable factors you have here: education, experience, knowledge and skill, span of control, financial impact. Then you have the descriptors for them, right? Now, list out 10 positions. You can divide it, these 10 positions or job descriptions of 10 positions. Okay. 10 positions. Now, each position you have to evaluate. You can do it as a group or you can divide your work. Each position you take and then see, hey, this position, no? Now, where does it fit into? With the education, experience, knowledge and skill, everything, I will compare with the descriptor. Grade 1, grade 2,
Okay.
grade 3
I
or
will go
grade
into
4.
this and I
Then
will read the project lead's description.
exactly.
Put it
So
in grade
you
1
can
or
either
grade 2.
divide, give Raghavan 2 positions, give other person 2 positions, but list out all the positions down, 10 positions.
Understood. Understood, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes.
and then put them in grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Understood, ma'am. Yes.
You are evaluating. Okay.
I think the first one is grade 1. If you can
Yeah.
see. Yeah. So I
0
will
This
to
put
is
it in.
3.
This is project engineer.
project engineer. Yeah.
let's go to the other one. This is the grade.
Project lead, yeah.
Grade 2.
What is this? Project lead.
Lead, yeah. Just
I think the third one is for grade
project manager.
grade 4 it is.
Grade 4 or 3? Grade 4, okay. Manager, yeah.
Service delivery leader.
15
I
years.
guess this should be the grade 4, I guess. Or
You have only 4 grades.
yeah.
So if that is the highest, then this would be in grade 4,
Yeah.
This should be the grade 4. Project manager will be a grade
grade
3.
3,
Grade 3, and this will be project head would be
Yeah.
grade.
grade 4.
Yeah.
Only there are 4 over here. So we need to open another Word document, Vilma, in that case.
Yes. So you have 3 Word document. So now you have done one. Pick up the second. Sorry, let's do finance. Okay. Now see. Can you see? So first write down the
Wait.
finance manager. This starts from the top. So this is the highest role. First put this in grade 4.
Finance manager, yeah.
Education.
I think 1 second, Vilma, can you go to the finance manager would
Plant.
be
This is the
Can
highest.
you yeah, that's fine. But can you come to the finances?
There are how many positions? Then sorry, general manager is also there.
Yeah. Can you come to the span of control for the finance manager? The 5 to 8 finance
5
subs.
to 8.
Will be grade 3.
Grade 3, yes.
Next one.
General manager.
General manager is 12 to 15 years.
This is, you have more higher roles. Director of finance is also there.
Multi-unit finance team. Large budgets on
All
company.
good in this group? All good?
Yeah, this is also grade 3, I think.
But then going by the roles, how can I put finance accounts in 4 and project manager also in 4, who is not a general manager, right?
We can have broadbanding in that case.
Mm.
Can you go
We have
down?
director here. We have director.
Director.
Can I put
This is the grade 4.
Right. If I'm putting director in grade 4, general manager in grade 3 and 2, it looks weird.
So here is it.
Yeah,
So
that's-
therefore, so typically what happens, like for example, I have given you 4 grades. Okay. Now you have a general manager and director where you have to put him in a grade. Okay. Typically what happens, you can put them here because you are not doing subgrading.
Yeah.
Okay. You are not doing subgrades. So, like for example, if you have in grade 4 a subgrade of 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, you can have the general manager in lower subgrade
broadbanding
and the right broadband.
Yeah.
So here we are taking everything as a broadband. So therefore, both GM and director, you can put them in one grade.
But ma'am, I want to understand the logic. Shall I put GM and director in the broadband, or shall I put GM and the finance manager in the same broadband? Because in some organization, the middle level is having broadband rather than the higher level. In some organization, the higher levels have broadband. So how do we decide that?
So depending on, say for example, there is an organization where the complexity is not much. You know what I meant, the complexity? The process is very simple. Then do you think you'll have more bands?
No.
You won't have so many. You'll have just, say for example, I'll just limit yourself to a shop floor. It can have just workman, supervisor, 3 levels. The more complexity is there, you'll have more brands.
No, ma'am, that not my question is not that. Why
No.
can't we put finance manager and the general manager in the same band, in the broad band, and director in grade 4? Why do we need to put the general manager and the director in grade 4 and only finance manager in grade,
No, no.
grade
So
3?
here, based on this little, we are now just learning the technology of how to do job grading. Okay. So
Hmm.
I gave you only four grades, only four grades.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, but considering the fact that these are manufacturing positions, etc., your question is related to, hey, what does it happen really in the organizations? In organizations, what happens? You won't just have, you will have sub-bands. Like, for example, grade 1 and grade 2 can be no sub-bands, or depending on your promotion policy and depending on the complexity of nature of work, you can take into consideration more sub-bands at a middle level, maybe lesser sub-bands, maybe at a higher level. Like, for example, in the middle management, you will have more sub-bands, and at a higher top management, you may have just two sub-bands. Middle, you'll have three sub-bands. Lower, maybe just two. So it depends. But here, considering the fact that we are only trying to learn a technology, we are limiting ourselves because I want to learn. So I'm limiting only to four
Under-
grades. What?
Understood.
Because otherwise, if I start looking at sub-bands, everything here, and especially being a virtual, will be very, very difficult to make you understand. Okay?
So, my query is like, generally, a mid-size organization will have grades from level 1 to level 7, 8 on an average. Larger organizations may have 12 to 16, 14, 16 grades, tall organizations, right?
So typically, public sector, government organizations, they will have narrow banding. So they will have 10 to 15 bands as well. Okay. But IT organizations, most of them where the impact is with the market, then they would like to have very lean, very few band. So they will typically go for a broadband. So when I say broadband, say for example, I will say grade grade 2 or grade 3 has three sub-bands. In essence, they will have slight differentiation in the job description. May not have much, but all of them will be there in that grade, big, broader grade. But they will have 2A, 2B, 2C, that kind.
Seven,
You can have, especially it's a
seven
manufacturing
director?
organization, you will have typically 10 to 12 grades.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. So, have you written finance manager? You have written
Yes.
general manager?
Yeah. Director of Finance and
Finance?
CFO all done.
This done? Okay. CFO.
Yeah.
Any more? No. So, this is done. I'll remove this.
Grade 1.
Grade 1.
Okay, so we are done.
Right? This is 20 years.
I'm just sharing my final screens with everybody. So
Hmm.
can you see?
Hmm.
This is the final thing.
Hmm.
So under grade 1, we have project engineer and HR executive. Under grade 2, we have project lead. Under grade 3, we have project manager, finance manager, general manager, finance, and HR manager. Under grade 4, we have project head, director finance, CFO, plant head HR, and head HR. Is that okay?
Okay.
I think this was the activity, Vilma.
Yeah.
Project lead for a manufacturing organization. Okay. Just do that exercise. But since this is a manufacturing organization, or you can arbitrarily, because all of you have been working, so you can just say typically what is a market pay.
So what you're saying, we'll see in Glassdoor or something. What is your suggestion?
What is the task now?
We have to write what is the
Market data.
market data.
Identify the market data price.
We can do that, Chibi. We can look at Glassdoor or
Quickly ask ChatGPT to give you the data for all these roles for a manufacturing company.
Yeah.
Name any company, it will give you the list.
we just copy paste. I think it will give you the
Yeah.
data.
Okay. So I've got market data 30 to 80,000. It is 60.
Is it the minimum and maximum?
They are showing the salary ranges there.
Okay.
So is that what we want? The salary range?
Yeah,
Yeah, your salary range.
yeah, you can put that minimum and maximum from
Hmm.
30 to 80.
1.5. The service delivery is
So are we sorry, this is KPG here. Just wanted to check. So are we doing it with the chat GPT or via the Glassdoor?
ChatGPT.
Okay.
So to be more precise, if you want to really have more accurate data, you have to give prompts, very discrete prompts like ours is a manufacturing company manufacturing this product and service line. I want similar industries in the region Delhi, Mumbai, Calcutta for all these job roles, level 1 to level 6. These are the grades. Now, vis-a-vis, I want data of average salary, market salary, min, max, average, whatever is available from the comparator industry who are in the similar service line. Give me 8 to 10 such comparator list mapping all these job roles within the given region with your data sheet. Then it will look and read all your data
Hey,
and
one
it will
second.
give you
Okay,
almost
okay.
exact data with the links, right?
So, Vilma, you are there, right?
Yeah. So what I was saying is also tell that give me the data along with the links so that you can verify it. Correct?
Okay.
Vilma, what is this 2 rows? Market pay here and here also?
They have done min and max. I mean the range.
Range that we have got a
Range.
range. So basically,
Uh,
ChatGPT
Acha,
just
so, yeah,
Delete one.
but typically min and max, right? But let them keep a median only, huh?
Okay, so can delete one.
If you can, acha, once they get the median, have to go back there. Okay, I will do it right away. 1 second. Median means just the
We'll take an average of these two.
no, this is min and max. No, you have to take a midpoint typically. Because if you can't take an average.
Midpoint.
Okay. So the midpoint. So it will be about yeah.
I'm taking a median of this.
Can you delete this both min and max?
Yeah, I'll delete it. Yeah.
Vilma, every grade should have a min and max, right? So you're creating what? A grade structure with a salary range. So can you create now grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, min and max? Can you do that? The lowest job in that particular grade corresponding to that, what is the market salary? Do that. Then the highest job, do that. Okay. Then we'll try to then do the mechanical iteration.
Grade 2, grade 3.
Nirmala? Yeah, they are
Only
waiting for you.
I'm coming there. I'm coming there now. Lindu.
You have understood what she said? Durga, have you understood what is to be done?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. This is whose sheet? Shivi. Okay.
So basically, one is 42,500, which is
Yes. 500. Max.
max here is 55,000.
5. Yes. 55.
And for two, we have only one position, 90,000.
90.
Three is 1 lakh
3.
1 lakh 40 and 1 lakh 75.
Grade 4, 300, 300.
So 3 is 175. 4 is
300. No, there's up there.
oh no, there is
3, 300.
3 lakh and 375.
Yeah,
5 is
5
550
and
and
7.
7 and 6 is a
The
15.
only one, 15.
Only one which we had as a 15. And what we said was that min and max is like this.
Ranges min and max.
Median. Yeah, max.
Because a grade is, I mean, a grade does not have value if it does not have a salary range, right? Min and max. When you say grade one, you should know, hey, what is the salary range? So you need to fix salary ranges. So how will you fix salary ranges? Anybody? I just told you we have to collect market data.
Market
Okay,
value.
but right now because we are more keen to learn the just the what is the technology, so we are putting it hypothetically. But otherwise, we have to get the market data.
So market data, when we take, ma'am, do we get the min and max or do we get the actual number? Like,
No. Typically, that is what in session 3 we'll be telling. So when you look at market data, some data will be min and max. But when you use it, you have to use a median. Median means the midpoint. Got it? We
okay.
don't use min and max. So it is not even average because average doesn't, the outliers may be there. No?
Yeah.
So we normally take the median data. Okay.
I'm just giving random numbers, ma'am. Just.
Yeah. Give the random numbers. And once you do this, can you insert the data and do a scatter graph?
Draw the pay line. Click on the that blue circle. Here. Trend. Display equation on chart. R square at the bottom.
Where is the display equation?
Yeah, here. Set, intercept, display equation at the bottom. Just click those boxes. Display R square. Yeah. So you see,
Okay.
some of the points are above the pay line
Yeah.
and some
Yeah.
of the job points are below the pay line, which needs to be corrected,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Some others which are above the pay line don't need correction.
Mm.
They can stay as is with a minimal increment, whereas the ones which are below the pay line needs correction. So by doing this pay line, by drawing this trend, you get to know which are the positions, which are the roles which are impacted
Okay.
and
Understood.
where you have to work around. It is not all the job roles, it is just a couple of them.
Got it.
Probably these are the roles where you are losing people, right? And you see they're much below the market. So that is one of the reasons,
Yeah.
besides the other factors,
Yeah.
of course.
Yes. Understood.
Okay. Now, can you just go show me that scatter graph, what you did, Nivedita? No, just now you showed me that graph, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's down.
Yeah. Okay. Now, when we are doing job grading, okay, we
Mm.
did what? Identifying compensable factors, step 1. Step 2, determining how many grades I want. Step 3, descriptors. Then evaluating the jobs. See, when I have done that, this job will be in grade 1, this job, so I map them. When thereafter you have done this, I'm not taking into consideration this y r square right now, so that you don't get confused. I'm only looking at this trend line. Okay. This, what it means, I will tell you later when we do point plan method. So I'm only looking at this trend line and saying what we are doing in job grading is cluster analysis. Okay, what is it called? Cluster analysis. Now, can you see that there are 2 jobs in grade 1, 1 job in grade 2, and 3 jobs in grade 3, and 4 jobs in 3
Correct.
jobs in. But we have only taken, say, 10 positions or 15 positions as a sample, but there could be many more positions. So
Yeah.
typically now, if I say that the project engineer is in grade 1, but I don't
Mm.
know how much I should pay him. Why?
Yeah.
Because I have not fixed or assigned salary, min-max,
Yeah.
a grade salary. No. So every grade should also be assigned with salary ranges, a min and a max. So how do you do
Sure.
that? By doing this cluster analysis. That is, you have taken market data and looked at how many jobs fall into that. So now this 2 jobs corresponding to them, you have salaries, market data. So the
Yeah.
lower job, the salary corresponding to this lower job in grade 1 becomes the minimum for grade 1.
Yeah.
The salary corresponding to the higher job in grade 1 becomes the max for grade 1.
Mm.
Because every grade will have what? A min and a max
And a max.
salary range. Got it? So just
Yeah.
we will only do grade 1. Just put here grade 1 because the control is in your hand. Just write,
Where will it?
right? No, right here grade 1. Just write here. Anywhere, space, not there. I'm trying to tell you how. No, not there. So just in the space, in any grade,
Oh,
just
yeah.
write grade 1.
Mm.
Okay, grade 1. So min will be?
Yeah.
Min will be the salary which is corresponding to the lower position. Min, how much? 22? Yeah, you can
Oh,
put it as
shit.
20.
Sorry.
No problem. Technology, after all, technology,
Yeah.
no? 22?
Yeah. 20,000, 25,000 to 30,000.
Acha, that is 25, is it? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Min is 25 and
Yeah.
max is
Max is 30.
how much? How much?
30. 30.
30. Now, how do you, now the difference between 25 and 30 is how much?
5.
5,000. 5,000. But actually, in the organization, this is what you gathered
Yeah.
with the market data. The increment is, say, 1,000 rupees, just hypothetical. And a person gets promoted from grade 1 to grade 2 in 3 years.
Mm.
So it is 3 into 1,000, 3,000. So it's, how much is this difference? 5,000.
5,000.
It's
Yeah.
absolutely fine. You want to have it. But when do you tweak it? When it is lesser. Then you have to
Lesser.
extend the max You have to
Hmm.
stretch it more. Got it?
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Huh? Likewise, take the other grades also. See, the lower positions salary becomes the min. The,
Hmm.
the salary for the higher position in that grade becomes the max. Got it?
So for grade 2, there is nothing, but grade 3, it will be 50 to
In grade 2, there's
65.
only one position. Okay?
Yeah.
But you have only taken 10 positions, but tomorrow you might recruit more, you might have more positions. So you're creating a band grade.
Yeah.
So you can have, say, for example, just show me grade 1 ends with the what? Max 30. You can have 30 to
40
so this
also.
is 45. So you can have it even till 50.
50.
50.
Understood.
Overlap is no problem. Again, check with increment and promotion from grade 2 to grade 3, how many years it takes.
Sure. Understood.
On the ground, how does it? Otherwise, what happens? So everything doesn't happen just with the data. You have to also check in reality what is happening. And that's how you tweak with the grades.
Understood.
Okay,
Understood.
how much of range you have to give, what we call it as spread or width. What is width?
Yeah.
Nothing but the difference between
Between the
max
min and the
and
max.
min. If the
Yeah.
width is small, it becomes a narrow band. That means every 2 years you have to give. If the width is
Yeah.
broad, that means it becomes
Hmm.
broader. Got it?
Sure. Understood. Yeah.
Okay. And yes, I was there hand holding and also observing. So I think both the groups definitely have certain, doubts and also certain questions. So we'll clarify them. Before that, I will just give you a little summary of what we did. Okay. So that things are very clear and it reinforces. So what we did was we did one methodology of job evaluation called job grading by identifying compensable factors. Okay. Then deciding on how many grades I want, which is dependent on the nature of the organization. Okay. And then creating those descriptors for every compensable factor, say education, what is the or what is the level of education required for grade 1, for grade 2, etc. And then taking a job description and evaluating it and then mapping it to where does it fall, whether it falls in grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. Till here, all were very clear. Just give me a thumbs up, guys. Yeah, everybody was clear on that. Okay. Now, so we said we could use compensable factors like all these: qualification, experience, span of control, business output, financial impact. So because as you keep going up the ladder, supervision level increases. Okay, knowledge level, skill required. So these are some of the compensable factors. Okay. Then we said you are, so when you have a narrow grade, what is this? Many grades which will have narrow. When I say narrow, that means the width or the difference between the max and min is very small. Got it? When I say wide, that means the difference between the max and the min is very broad. That means tenuity. A person can be in that grade for a longer time. Just one logic. If you have noticed in organizations, say everybody can at least be, in agreement. In a BPO, when an associate joins, in 1 year, he becomes a senior associate, 1 or 2 years. Okay. But the time taken for this senior associate to become a TL is how much? Typically. Anybody?
2-3 years.
Shivi? Huh? 3 years maybe. But again, from a TL to a manager,
That will be more time.
3 to 5
More
years.
time.
From a manager to, say, for example, a senior manager, longer tenurity.
Yeah.
From a senior manager to a vice president, many more years. You getting me? So, what does that mean? That means to do a job at the lowest level requires only skills. the knowledge, the ability to do it. A pay clerk, he has to operate a pay software, etc. But whereas a finance manager has to have much more skills because you are managing a team. So the job becomes complex. The responsibility, the accountability becomes much more intense as you keep growing in the job. Agreed? Or all of you agree on that? So if you've noticed, but if I am going to reduce, if I'm not going to have a wide or broad range at a higher levels, then when I keep giving increments, then where does the person go? He reaches the maximum in a very short time. So I need to align my grading structure to what I am actually practicing in the organization, depending on my promotion policy, depending on the number of increments I give, depending on the career progression or the career growth. Are you now in alignment? Are you in alignment now? Any doubts? Because Shibi had certain doubts. Shibi, is that well understood?
Funny, my question was regarding that.
No, we are coming to that now. Yeah. Huh? We are coming to that. So sometimes, just let me complete. Now, you can also have a broadband. When I say broadband, these big structures are grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and you can have sub-bands. Again, depending on what is the kind of tenuity, what does the job require, how many years does it require, to grow. So based on the ground, then you can have this. Now, Shibi also had a question saying that, for example, I'll go back to that. What does this represent? This represents what? The min and max. Min, max, right? That means this is a salary range. Now I am recruiting a person more than the max. Is that the point you are saying, Shivi? That there is an HR manager job and he is in a grade 1 or a grade 2 and the min is 8,000 and the max is 12,000, for example. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. I'll just use annotator. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So min, say for example, 8,000. Okay. And max is 12,000. Okay. Now you are saying I'm not getting a person, and the business head has given you a person, say hire him at, right? Hire him at more than the max. They're saying, can you do it or can you not do it? You tell me, what would you do? Just if it is, what do you think? What do you think will happen?
Normally, in our scenario, ma'am, as an HR business partner, we wouldn't hire this person. But if it is necessary to be hired, then it would be a red tap case if I want to keep it as an HR manager. If
Okay.
otherwise, if we can give him a senior manager, HR manager role if needed, because it is above the salary range.
Shibi, I want to know your response.
One option is we look at other options to hire if we can get somebody else from the market. But if not, then maybe we hire that. There are two ways. One is hire that grade and keep that, that overlapping, it will be with the next grade. Option one. Or
Okay.
option two, look at the complexity and see if it can be put at the next grade.
Okay. So so my response to the entire group now, as a CNB professional, typically, every organization has to have a salary structure. When I say what is the salary structure, why should you have a salary structure? Because at least you are telling the employee, it gives you it gives the employee where he is in with respect to the grade, and what kind of a career progression. Now, what is the salary structure? It has grades, it has salary ranges for every grade. Now, when you have a salary structure, and now you want to break that salary structure and say, hey, suddenly he's demanding for so much, and the salary range max is already 12,000. So it is not done. You typically don't do such a cases because it complicates. For example, that means you are stretching the max from 12,000 to 13,000. It disrupts. Okay. A. You have already done job evaluation. Now somebody, Nivedita said, I might put him into senior manager. That means for the job of a HR manager whom you have valued, you are saying, I will put him to a higher position. You see what repercussions happen. Are you seeing? So typically in practice, what do organizations do? They have to stick to their salary structure. So therefore, they will find A is ensuring that the recruiter is told that this is the scale, this is the salary range. And I typically don't go beyond midpoint also. You have to give only around the midpoint, because if you are already coming at 12,000, next year, how can I give an increment? I can't give an increment. I'll be forced to promote. So typically the recruitment policy is, we'll come tomorrow, we'll talk about it. Comp ratio of only 90, 100, 110. Nothing beyond. B. Now, by bringing a person at a higher salary, you are actually increasing the wage cost. That means I can also look at somebody else whom I can get at a lesser cost. Okay. No, by lesser cost, no. Critical position. I'll make an exception. I will still put him at 12,000 or something and give additional lump sum, some allowance. Got it? Or this person is too good. Okay, then increase the content, increase his responsibility, and then create senior manager position and put him in that grade then, where it is between min and midpoint. So it all is contextual again. Because what we are going to talk tomorrow about red circle and green circle rules. So there are certain rules in the way you compensate. Got it? Like, for example, if I'm paying minimum 8,000 and somebody is unemployed and he has not worked for some time and he's good vet, I will pay him less than 8,000? No. I have to, just because he is not employed, I have to start him at that 8,000. If he's an intern, everything, that's a different case. But that's called the green circle rule. That means I have to start, if you have a position and you're saying, hey, he's good for the position, then start him at 8,000 minimum. But you can't pay less than that. And then call him in still in that grade. You are disturbing the grade structure. Okay? So these are some compensation rules, Shibi. So are you with me now? Huh? Okay? So most of the time, I tell you, in my own recruitment department of 40 people, I know how it is. Let me give you a very interesting example. Say, for example, I was in Sutherland, BPO. BPO salaries are average. We don't pay very high salaries. Okay? BPO salaries are average. Why? Because our margins are less. We are in a cost leadership company, right? And we have to work on our operational excellence processes. Okay? Now, there is a position vacant, for example, okay? Say, for example, okay, HR manager. I'll get somebody from Google, or I will get somebody from Microsoft. It's a very good person. That person is already getting 2 to 3 times the salary. Why? Because they pitch at 90th percentile, 85th percentile. But whereas I am only at a market 65th percentile. Now they are getting 2 to 3 times higher salary. How can I take that person in my organization? Because the pay philosophy, entire policy is all different. Are you with me? So most of the times what happens, the recruiters get people from organizations who are different with different business strategies. Okay. And then they're already paying very high salaries. So you can't bring that person. So business head, what he will do, hey, I want it as of yesterday, this person is very good. But then you as a compensation manager, you have to tackle the because you have to be fair, equitable. Now you bring that person. I will give 13,000, like Shibi says, I will give 13,000 to her. You'll bring that person. Okay. Then what will happen to that person who's working there in a similar job, who is getting lesser salary? You have started another problem of inequity. You think it will be confidential salary? Keep it confidential. Huh? I'm giving you this high salary. Keep it very confidential. But will it be confidential then? Tomorrow, how much are you getting? Getting. Oh, okay. Then you have hired one, but 4 people will go away then. That's the reality. You can't keep anything, that's the best part of it. Nothing is confidential. Salary is special.
We are facing the same problem in our organization.
Ah. So what is that you are facing, Hariom?
Basically, we are in the power manufacturing company, and we have very few competitors, right? And we have the lack of talent in our organization. Suppose I want to hire the design engineer. So what will happen now? Our old engineers, they are working 5 years, 6 years old engineers. Now, lots of the new competitor has come, and they are pulling our talent. So
Right.
what happened? They are offering the very good
Mommy.
salary to them,
Okay.
and due to that, they are moving from our organization. And
Right.
it's very difficult to retain that talent with us. So we have done the
I'll make
benchmarking
you
and
get up.
everything. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
So
very
we
good
have
example,
built.
Hariom. Yeah.
Yes.
So I just
So
want to give the takeaway here in Hariom's thing, because I do a lot of work for manufacturing organizations. Now, what happens typically here? It is what is the question? Here you have a grading structure. You have salaries assigned to these grades. You have not done market correction. Now there are new companies which have come, and when new companies come, what happens? Startups especially, they want experienced people. They don't mind paying 2 to 3 times salary because they want not fresh but experienced and good high performers. So you have not taken care of them, so they get taken away, poached by your competitors. So what do you do typically then? Either you do market correction by getting, hey, what are my peer companies doing, and do the market correction. Also, don't give increment overboard to everybody. No. Then identify who are high performers. Then can I give higher increments to them? What you said during the increment time, can I actually identify? You don't want to change across the board for everybody wage increase. No, you want to identify those high performers whom you don't want to lose, you want to retain. So then you will give them additional increments or additional allowances or additional retention allowances. So a comp and ban, you have to juggle how you want to do it. Got it? Okay,
yes, sir.
Hariom?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we will
Yes,
work
sir.
more towards it, but now we are getting into something a little more technical. Okay. Um,
Okay.
yeah. Sorry, 1 second. Let me just. Okay. Thank you for the input, Hariom. Okay. Just think. 1 second. Annotate. I have to rub this. Okay. All right, guys. Okay. We did job grading, which is a quantitative process. Okay. Job grading was quantitative process. Now we are looking at a job evaluation technique, which is that was qualitative. Quantitative. What does quantitative means? Means assigning numbers. Assigning points. So which becomes much more objective as in compared to the qualitative process. Okay. Now, how do we go about it? It is little technical, but please bear with me and I'll make it much simpler. First of all, has anybody heard of a point plan method? No, I think Nivedita, you did A, right? Anybody who heard
Yeah.
job evaluation point plan? Okay. This is
Yeah.
called the point plan method. Now, the
Oh,
Hay,
so Hayes is the point plan, is it?
have you heard of Hay plan? Anybody?
Yeah, we
Hay
have done that. I've done
So-
through Hayes. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Hay plan actually does the point method, and the Mercer, the Yuan, Hewitt, everybody actually they have their own patented, which is also a point method. Okay. So the point plan method is a very popular method, very objective, and used by most of the organizations. Got it? Now, the interesting part is the first step is very, very common. What was the step? Both in job grading?
Writing
Identifying?
the job description.
No. Step one,
The
identifying
Compensable factors.
compensable factors. This is
Hmm.
step one.
Hmm.
Okay. Next, then the similarity stops. Now, don't compare job grading with this, please. Okay. Now the similarity stops. The interesting part about the point plan is now the step two. I have to identify what we call, you can call it as levels, or you can also call it typically the vocabulary used in compensation and job evaluation is degree of differentiation. What is it called? Degree of differentiation. Levels. Okay. Now, what does that mean? Forget about grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 now. Okay. The similarity stops. What does it mean? That means, say, for example, education is a compensable factor. Okay. How many degrees or levels of intensity is there in your organization? So how do you assess that? By taking the lowest job, education, and the highest job typically, and then say, hey, if the job is complex, then you'll have more levels. If the job is less complex, you'll have less levels. So to understand better this degree of definition, I will take you through one small slide. You will understand better. Say, for example, knowledge is a compensable factor. Okay? Knowledge is a compensable factor. Now, say, for example, I'm an industry representing chip making, maybe. Okay? Chip making. So, at a lowest level, say, for example, use of reading, writing, adding, subtracting, this is the definition level. But at a highest level, 5th degree, is there a difference? Anybody wants to read it? Yeah? Anybody?
Use of
Volunteer.
higher mathematics involved in
Involved in the
application of
application of principles.
engineering, together with
Principles.
comprehensive knowledge, theories, and practices of various engineering fields, equivalent to complete 4 years of technical education or university education.
Yeah. So do you find a difference between the first level
Yes.
and the 5th level?
Yeah.
What? Intensity. Right?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
intensity required is very
Mm.
low there and very high there. Okay? So this is called degree of definition, degree of differentiation. So, like for example, responsibility. So when I write a descriptor, the degree of responsibility for a executive, recruitment executive will be very low. But the degree of responsibility for a recruitment manager will be very high. Will you agree? Yes or no? Please tell me. Business impact. Very low, degree 1. Very high, degree 5. Have you understood? So when I create a point plan, I will identify compensable factors. I will write all the descriptors, and then every job will be evaluated through the description, job description, and I will assign points. I'll come to that, how we'll create points. And this is what it will look like, a point plan. Okay? And finally, it will look like this. These are the compensable factors. Vice President, Sales and Marketing. How many points does it have? What is the point value for this position? Anybody here? Huh?
For the knowledge, total it is 460.
Total point value. No, I'm only talking about total point value.
460.
So, which is that position which has the lowest point value?
Management training.
training.
Absolutely. And so now can you see? So can you then say, hey, Vice President is the highest job, so he has to be paid high. General Manager is the next job, he has to be paid little lesser. Regional Manager is the next job, he has to be paid lesser. And the best part of this point plan is, I can also find out. Say, for example, Vice President is 460. And say, for example, General Manager is 450. But 460 job is getting very high salary, and 450 job is getting less salary. I will say, hey, the difference in point is only 10. So why should this job get such more salary? Are you with me? You can actually do an assessment. So when you have point values, total point values for the positions, say for example, a senior manager HR has 460 points and a manager HR is having 420 points. I will also see the gap between the points of senior manager and manager HR. And if the gap is not much, what does it mean? That the senior manager is doing almost 70% of manager HR job. Then why should I be paying so much? Why can't I club both the jobs and give him little more salary and say, got it? So it helps you a lot in terms of understanding not only the point value of the positions, but also differences in the position point values. What is the difference between positions? And can we then collaborate and say, hey, are we paying fair? Okay. Now, how do we do this entire exercise? I'll take you through. Don't have to get worried. Merit will make you perfect in this art of doing things. Don't worry. Okay. Now, why am I showing you in a worked out example so that you can understand? Okay. Now, step 1, just to reiterate compensable factors. Step 2, what I have to write? Levels. So this levels or degrees, degree 1, degree 2, degree 3, degree 4. So education, that means at a degree 1, it's only ITI, engineer plus certification, PG engineer. Now, there in job grading, when I wrote descriptors, a little overlap was okay. But here, you cannot afford to have overlap because every degree will be assigned with points. Is that clear? Every degree will be assigned with points. That's one thing. Now, so you have all the degree definitions, okay? Descriptors. Now, step 3. You have to assign weightage. Weightage is 100% always, no? 100%. So, not all the compensable factors may be important. So, weightage. In job grading, you found that, hey, 2 descriptors matched here, 2 descriptors matched here, but yet I gave 1 grade. I'm forced to do that. But here, you don't have to. So, you have to do the weightage. Say, for example, a startup, which will have the higher weightage among all these 4 compensable factors.
Work experience?
I can't take freshers, right? I need experienced people. So my experience will have higher weightage. Okay. If it is, so I will also need education. Okay. Then the ground rule is don't give 50% weightage to one compensable factor. Then what happens? You are actually then, giving away bias towards one compensable factor only. Okay. So what are the weightages I've given here? Shibi?
100.
Education 20. Sorry.
Yeah. Then work experience.
20 is given here.
20, then 25, then 35.
35.
So they should be totaling to
100.
100. Correct?
80.
Now, how do you create a point plan? Multiply this 20 into 1, 20 into 2, 20 into 3, 20 into 4. Tomorrow I'll tell you another little more complex thing. But right now, at level 1 you are. So, how do you make a point plan? 20 into this, 20 into this, 25 into this. So, this is how you have created a point plan and add up your degrees. It should be 100, 200, 300, 400. So, this point plan is 400 point plan. Got it? If there's a very complex organization, you can have a 1,000 point plan also. Okay. In job grading, typically you should just have grades like 5 grades or 6 grades, and okay, you can have subgrades. But here you can have any number of degrees of differentiation, even 8, 9, none, depending on the complexity of the organization. Got it? Because supposing there is an organization where the process is very, very simple. So that means these degrees of differentiation become few. Got it? But if the process is very complex, then the degrees of differentiation become more and more. Okay. Now, till here, have you understood till step 3? Huh? Have you understood till step 3? At least give me a thumbs up, yeah. I know it is a heavy thing. So now next, what do? You have to then do the evaluation and assign point values. Just like that, what I showed you a slide, VP sales manager. So point value. Say, for example, there is an HR team lead. I will take the job description. Then I will say, hey, how many points should I give in education? Now the job description says should be a postgraduate, a postgraduate. Okay. So then what happens? I will see postgraduate. So that means how many points will I give? 80 points. Experience 2 to 5 years. How many points will I give then?
Okay.
2 to 5 years. Here guys. 40. But span of control, individual contributor. How many points?
25.
25.
One question: why have you made the scale different for education and span of control or creativity?
Come again, Shibi.
In education, you gave for degree 20, 40, 60, 80, whereas for span of control is 25, 50, 75, 100. So, any
Yeah.
specific reason why it
How
is
did I give that? Is it? How did I give? So I gave weightage here, no? Shibi, 25.
okay?
First step 3 is I'm giving weightage. When I say weightage means out of 100. So how do you decide on that? Depending on what is important. Not all the compensable factors are equally important. So I said, okay, normally 20, 20, 25, 35. So how did I arrive at this? 25 into 1, 25. 25 into 2,
Okay.
50. 25 into 3, 75. 25 into 4, 100.
Okay, so for creativity, it is 140. So this can be beyond 100 also, this
But
scale.
so this is a startup doing, say, for example, I'm just hypothetical that they have to do what? It's like a Google Maps and all, they have to create satellite maps and all that. So creativity should be high. So I put 35. So 35 into 1 is 35. 35 into 2 is 70. Likewise, 105, 140. Got it?
Okay.
Okay. Now, I take a job description of a position based on the job description of that position, not by the title. Whenever I do job evaluation, I won't go by title. I will go by what actually it says and then see, hey, what is the creativity required? So if it says it is required high, I'll give that 105. Okay, maybe because sometimes what happens, the coders require high creativity, but a manager may not require high creativity. So here it gives me the flexibility of assigning point value for that compensable factor depending on what that job requires. Got it? And when I'm doing job evaluation, please mind you, it is not what, it is different from performance management. I am now establishing the worth of the job, how much I should pay. So what is it required? Got it? When it is performance management, I'm evaluating the person in the job. How has he done the job? Got it? Here, I'm not evaluating the person in the job. I'm evaluating the job. But yes, I will take high performers because obviously I don't want to take, and I will, obviously the starting point is job description. The starting point for performance management, competency mapping, everything is job description. But you do job analysis of job description for competency mapping to identify what are the competencies required for this job so that the person can do very well. I'm doing job analysis for job evaluation to find out how much should I pay, what is the worth of the job. Are you with me? Purposes are different, intent is different. So competencies are not the same
Could you
as
repeat?
what you're doing. Yeah.
Sorry, could you repeat again the last two sentences that you said?
I said two things because we tend to I mean, think that when I'm doing job evaluation, I tend to keep the person in mind. Yes, you need to have the person who's doing their job, but what is the starting point for all of them, whether it is competency mapping, performance management, you will look at the job description. But in performance management, you are assessing the person. When you're doing competency mapping, you are mapping competencies required for that position. But again, you are using job description, job analysis. Identifying for this task, for this responsibility, what kind of competencies is required. Like, for example, problem solving is a compensable factor. But when I'm doing this problem solving, maybe level lower, level higher, depending on the job, but I need analytical thinking. So analytical thinking is a competency which is required. Got it? But level of job problem solving, I'm saying, hey, for an executive, it is very low. Just routine jobs, very little. But higher level, there will be more at a thinking level because, he has to use mental effort. There is thinking level. Got it? So for that, that means I have to value the job at a higher level. Okay? So that's the point. So I hope everybody is clear now. You are creating a point plan. You are assigning points. Then you are evaluating jobs and adding all those, like, I'll quickly go to that because I think this helps.
This is the standard format for a point method, right?
One second. Yeah. This is what we have done. For all the jobs, you have to identify what points you want to assign for knowledge, for effort, for working condition, for role and responsibility, etc. And then add up all that. Yeah. Somebody was talking about something. I missed out. Yeah.
I'm just asking, was this the only standard format that we use, or is there any other calculation methodology in point format?
No, point plan. This is the only methodology. Whether it is Hay, whether it is Mercer, whether it's anybody, you are So when you are using a Hay, we'll talk about it. You don't have to take the pain of identifying compensable factors. It comes ready-made. So there are three, know-how, problem solving, and accountability. And under that, there are sub factors. And it comes ready-made. You also have a point plan.
Weightage.
All that
The
you
weightage
need.
is also given, ma'am.
Pardon?
The weightages are also fixed for the
No,
know-how
so
account.
everything is there. All that you need to do is
Hmm.
they will give you a questionnaire, which intensive questionnaire. Then you have to
Hmm.
write everything. Then they will then assign, they will circle, and then they'll give you the total point value. The methodology is the same, but here
Hmm.
I don't. In fact, for most, see, Hay comes up with a pre-designated, pre-fit compensable factors and also point planner, because it has worked with several across the globe and say for small, medium, and large organizations. In today's time, with so much of agility and market impact, most of the organizations are realizing the fact that it is better to do it on your own, identifying. So this is the methodology which is common across. Okay.
Understood.
So till now you have understood whatever we have said.
Yeah.
How do you arrive at this figure of 460? By assigning the point value for all these compensable factors and adding it up. Got it? Just
So
give me a
just,
thumbs up, guys. Shibi
yeah,
said yes.
yeah,
No,
no, I'm
Shibi
saying
is saying, otherwise ma'am will ask.
no. I'm saying in the previous example, if you could just go to the previous example.
I will go to
Yeah.
do you want me to go to that my
Yeah,
Excel?
that sheet. Yes, yes.
Oh, sorry. I will go to that fact sheet only. Yeah, I want you all to. I don't mind extending time, but this is very important. That's where.
So in this
Yeah.
case, for example, if I say an HR team lead, how will you add the points? Is assume he has to be 4 on education, so 80, and he has to be 3 on work experience, so 60. He has to be span of control is again 3, so 80 plus 60 plus 75 plus assume
Yeah.
creativity is 70. So that is how you add up and make the points.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
See, the point I want to make is you don't have to go vertically like this, like the job grading. You looked at all the compensable descriptors and then said, okay, grade 4. Then you said grade 3. No, here you have the flexibility of assigning that point value which fits with the job description or which is required by the job for that factor. For that factor. So, not necessary that you have to go all, in one row. Got it? That's the difference. Say, for example, I have not added here working conditions. In manufacturing organizations, working conditions becomes one universal compensable factor because, production guys, they work in a very, hazardous occupational hazard. It could be safety, etc. So, therefore, I might give a very high degree point value for that, right? For a low level production engineer. Whereas guy who sits in a nice, comfortable, cushy corporate office, the point value will be very less. Got it?
So tell me one thing, when we assign these points, they are clubbed together to form grades, cadres.
You are jumping the gun now. We are still not arrived there. Okay, but I'll complete this definitely. All right. Now, this is being done when there is high attrition and you feel that people are saying that there is no equity. So, internally, you are doing job evaluation. Got it? This is a one-time exercise. You don't do it year on year. Got it? So when you see that, hey, we have not stuck to any kind of a grade structure, nothing. And so we have to do job evaluation and ensure. So some organizations take that up because then you want to restructure, redesign your organization structure, everything. Because when you do this, maybe sometimes, some jobs get collapsed as well. Okay, this is a one time. But every time there is a diversification or a role change, then you definitely have to do job evaluation. Okay. Now, having said that, till here we have understood positions and point value. Just give me a sir. Now you are a new company or you are an old company and you are doing job evaluation. Okay. You want to understand, hey, I'm having huge attrition, inequity, etc. So how do I do? Now you want to predict what salary should I pay. So what will you do? You have done this total point values. This is very clear. And this is market salary. Got it? Now you will do a regression. What is that you will do? Like which Nivedita already did it, there. So you will do regression. Regression is a statistical technique which predicts. So when you do regression, you need two variables. One is a independent variable and the other is a dependent variable. Typically, we call it as IV and a EV. Independent variable is always standard. It's called X. And dependent variable is always called Y. If any one of you has done statistics or anything, even in Excel regression, it's always X and Y. You cannot interchange and do that. So first of all, step one, whenever you do regression, you have to determine which is your independent variable and determine which is your dependent variable. Otherwise, your numbers, your everything can go vice versa. So here, which is your independent variable? The market salary is dependent on the point value. Higher the points, higher the salary. Got it?
Yeah.
Like, for example, to give you a very simple, see, every day I'm watering the plant and the plant is growing, I'm measuring the inches. So which is the independent variable and which is the dependent variable? The growth of the plant is dependent on
How much we are watering?
watering. So water is an independent variable, right? The growth is the dependent variable. So dependent variable is always Y and independent variable is always X. So the first step is to determine that. So now this is X and this is Y. So what do? We have to calculate two components. That is, we have to calculate slope and intercept. Now, I will explain slope and intercept tomorrow. This is a statistical term, but what do they mean and how do they mean? But right now, just stick to slope and intercept. And how will you calculate the slope and intercept? Simple. What do? Just go to one second. Sorry. Go to function. Okay. Go to function and then ask for intercept. Can you see intercept here? Then say okay. What is it asking for? It's asking for data known Y's and known X's. That's why I told you first determine which is your X and which is your Y, because then your data can go wrong. Okay, so what is my known Y? Okay.
Market salary.
Market salary. Huh?
Yeah.
So till now what you have learned is creating a point plan, then calculating the point value by, totaling up all the point values of the compensable factors for every position. And you have this point X, point value X and market salary Y. So we will start with regression because regression is something little technical and complex. So I want you all to learn it properly. So in session 3, we'll do that. All right, guys.